Hey everyone, going to take a few minutes here to go over what you need to do for the week 5 discussion. This week we do have a discussion and we're looking at another poem. It is called The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. You may have actually heard this poem before, or maybe just part of it. Parts of it are pretty popular and used a lot in pop culture. So I wouldn't be surprised if you are somewhat familiar with the poem at least. However, having said that, even people who are familiar with the poem have read it, heard it, what have you. Many people don't really get this poem right. Very tricky. And you wouldn't think so because it seems very straightforward. But there is a subtle trickery to it. So keep that in mind as you read it and think about it. All right, I will read it here in just a moment. But of course, for the actual discussion prompt, the first thing you're going to want to do, the first question is, what do you think is going on in this poem? What do you think it's about? Right? And again, not like what is it, what are your feelings about it, but based on evidence from the poem itself, what do you think it's about? What do you think is going on? What's the point? Question 2 is then using evidence from the poem, pointing out specific words, phrases, lines that help support your interpretation, right? So I will read it for you. The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both and be one traveler. Long I stood and looked down one as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for that, the passing there had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. It's pretty straightforward. You gotta pay attention, because things aren't always what they seem, okay? So do your best. Do not use any outside sources. The only thing you can use an outside source for is to look up any words you're unfamiliar with. So only a dictionary, right? Do not go to outside sources to try to figure this poem out. The whole point is to use your critical thinking skills to do the best you can. Don't worry about the fact that it's a poem. We're not concerned with the fact that it's a poem. It's just something you're being asked to read and understand as best as possible. You are then asked to defend your thoughts, your ideas, by using specific words, phrases, and lines from this piece to help support it. Okay? Do your best. Try to have your first post up by Thursday so that everyone has plenty of time and plenty of options to choose 2 classmates to respond to by Sunday night. The discussion will remain open for an additional week, but remember, if you're posting during that additional week, it's only for 50% credit. So really do your best to get it completed on time so that you don't lose out on any of those easy points, okay? All right, if you have questions, you run into problems, reach out. Otherwise, just do your best and you will get the follow-up on it next week.